Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Now, the Knights of the Frozen Throne expansion has been released, and I opened 401 packs. There's a video on my channel showcasing that, and I managed to discover every single legendary in the set, including duplicates of them too. And recently I featured Reno Mage on the Wild Mode ladder pre-expansion, and I went from rank 10, I think it was, to rank 4, all in one weekend, and I was really happy. So of course, Reno Mage is the first deck that I want to try out with the new cards. So the deck on the left is by a player called GreenPM33 from Reddit, so thank you very much to GreenPM33. Tried the deck out, it was okay. Sort of a bit 50-50 for me. I made some changes. That's the deck on the right hand side. Now, the deck on the right. What did I change? I took out Babbling Book, a bit too situational in terms of the spells I was getting. Some of the spells weren't very good. I put in Arcanologist, so an emergency draw for Ice Block if you need it. I put in Forgotten Torch because it's a great value card, it's 2 sources of damage. I took out Ice Barrier and I put in Duplicate because in the past I've had great value on Duplicate Pyros, Duplicate Belcher, Duplicate Reno. I've found that at sort of rank 5 to rank 4, not everyone's playing around duplicates, so it can be really, really good. You've then got some new cards. The Lich King, which we'll talk about in a minute. Frost Lich Jaina, which is insane because of the healing that you get from the elementals. Pyros, by the way, is an elemental, so if you get multiple bodies of Pyros on the board, including the 10-10, it's pretty insane. Healing for 10 feels good. What else? Well, we've got N'Zoth the Corruptor, a few Death Rattle minions, and so on and so forth. The rest of the deck plays pretty much like a normal Reno Mage. The Lich King, however, is a card that worries me a little bit. I've only played a small number of games with the deck, but let's assume one thing. The Lich King will not live for more than 1 or 2 turns, usually. Usually there's a way of dealing with him. So you have to get value from the cards that he gives you, and if you get Death and Decay, yay, 3 damage. Brilliant. It's like a board clear. Frostmourne, great value because you end up killing enemy minions and they come back to life on your board, on the death rattle of the weapon. And of course, because you have healing in the deck with Reno, Kazakus potions, and the elemental healing after you play the Death Knight, you can negate some of that damage that you take. Anti-Magic Shell is really, really good because it buffs up your minions, firstly, which is nice, and then they can't be targeted by spells. So it plays around other spell-based classes, other mages, priests, means that your minions are a bit safer. Death Coil, incredibly flexible, 5 damage or 5 health for 2 cost. It's really good. Obliterate, I like because it's an emergency kill a minion that you need to kill, like killing the opponent's Lich King, for example. And because you have healing in the deck, you can afford to take a little bit of damage there. It's okay. Death Grip, okay-ish. Steal a minion, okay, depends what you steal, obviously, and put it in your hand rather than on the board. It's okay, it's fine. There's value associated with it. Now, the 2 cards that I don't like in this deck. In other decks, hey, I'm sure they're insane. But in this deck, Doom Pact. Destroy all minions. Remove the top card from your deck for each minion destroyed. You do not want to remove Reno, you do not want to remove Kazakus, you do not want to remove N'Zoth. That's an issue, that's a problem. So I'm not a fan of Doom Pact. Army of the Dead, remove the top 5 cards and summon them if they're minions. Not good at all. You don't want to be putting your N'Zoth on the board, or your Reno, or your Kazakus. They need to have the battle cries going off. They are your win conditions. So I have a problem with those 2 cards. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? In the games that I was playing with the Lich King, those were the 2 cards that I kept getting before he died. Yeah, he didn't last very long. If you want to get the other cards, like Death and Decay, Death Coil, Frostmourne, he needs to be on the board a bit longer, is what I found. And so yeah, mixed views on the Lich King at the moment, but he's still good, right? So, starting off now against a Warlock, and we have the Mana Worm. I'm not going to keep Duplicate. It's too early for that. And notice that we have Mana Worm and the Coin, which for against some decks is a bit of a dream start. If you're going up against Zoolock, buffed up Mana Worm trades in very well with their 2 health minions now. However, I have a feeling this is some kind of a demon lock featuring the new Warlock Death Knight. Now, there are mid-range versions, I think, of that deck, and there are control versions. My assumption is that this is going to be a control-style version, so playing AoEs, board clears, playing Mountain Giant, playing Twilight, Drake, perhaps. Yeah, he keeps tapping.
No.
So this looks like a slower, more control-style version.
This might sting.
Now I actually want to keep the Mana Worm healthy because if I was to trade, it would have 1 health. It's vulnerable to Mortal Coil. Not sure though if this sort of demon lock runs Mortal Coil, but okay, Hellfire, sure. So lots of ways of controlling the board. And that's our first dead turn, a turn where we couldn't do anything because we didn't have a 4-drop. Now, by the way, I do apologise. On the right-hand side, I've got my deck that I'm playing. I'm just experimenting with Deck Tracker. And I didn't extend the window further enough, so it sort of cuts off at Flame Strike. So apologies for that, for those of you that are looking at that and wondering why we stop at 7 cost. I'll get it fixed for my next video, I promise. So, seeing that is not good. Voidcaller is very, very dangerous. I'm going to make an assumption that Mal'Ganis is in his hand, maybe Jaraxxus, and we don't want to be putting those on the board. So the idea was to try and just ignore the Voidcaller, let him make trades, let him pop it, and summon a demon that he can't then use on his turn. That's the idea there. If I pop it, the demon comes out, it can then be used the following turn. Right, Bran Kazakus is bad news, because I'm a Death Rattle deck. If he got the Mystic Wool Potion, he can negate my Death Rattles, and then I don't get the value on N'Zoth. So, I want to pop my Death Rattle minions. I think that's going to be a priority. But even if I pop them, Mystic Wool is still a problem, it's still an issue. Interesting. Demon Wrath. So that's good information, I guess. So on the left-hand side, you can see the cards that he has played. Presumably then, he is a Reno Warlock with demons. Interesting. Drain Soul. Huh. Defile. Now that's a really interesting card. It's a card I want to experiment with, certainly. Oh, he's tapping last? Really? At rank 5? You wouldn't expect that. Anywho, we need to kill that. That's 6 damage coming to our face. But once again, a bit of a dead turn for us. We removed the minion, we pinged the face, but we didn't manage to do anything else with our turn. So, bit annoying.
I have no time for games.
Oh dear, no time for games, Sylvanas. So, I think we can expect the Warlock Death Knight.
Do not fear.
and I think we can expect N'Zoth the Corruptor. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. So we play our Death Knight, and now we're going to be getting our healing value. Oh look, there's one potion. Oh god, that's such a scary board. Yeah, we're now going to get our healing value from our elementals, but how on earth do you deal with that board? Nothing that I can do in my hand really is terribly effective. I mean, Meteor does something. Meteor can kill something on the board, but it's not good enough. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I think we play Pyros. And listen, I understand that he can steal Pyros. He can just kill the Water Ellie, trade in Sylvanas, damage his Sylvanas with a spell, and steal Pyros. But look, my Pyros is injured now. It's injured. And I can deal with it with Flame Strike and the Mage Hero power, potentially. And look, because he's trading, he's injuring these minions. Okay, he's doing what I predicted. But he's injuring his minions. He's now going to be putting them in range of my AoEs. So, we just... That's not good. 10 health. We're just playing this slow. Nice and slow. There's no need to rush. Flame Strike doesn't do a huge amount here. Does it? Do we even care about the Mistress? We don't care about her. So we need to just prioritise on killing the biggest threats. Okay, that's fine. So 3 bodies still left on the board. But look, we have a Water Elemental, which will heal us. I mean, this healing value is insane. Blood Reaver Gul'dan. So the demons come back to life. He only gets 2 of them though. He's played it really early. I guess he just wants board presence, because he may be afraid of dying soon. Although that hero power is going to help him massively to stay alive. Okay. Now, the Doomsayer. We're just going to hope and pray that it goes off. I'm going to damage... I'm going to damage something. I'm going to damage the Mistress. The reason is, if he kills the Doomsayer, then I can use my hero power again next turn to kill the Mistress and at least get a Water Elemental out. You don't want to kill off that Void Caller, because you don't know what other demons are in his hand. So, yeah, just 1 damage to the Mistress there was fine. It's still a very threatening board that he's got. Over Meteor. Don't think I want to use it just yet. So we kill the Mistress. Now, the benefit, obviously, is that it removes now a body. We get a 3/6. We get some healing. He gets healing too, but it's okay. So, maybe I could have done that slightly differently. Maybe I should have prioritised on killing the 6/4. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, maybe a bit of a misplay. I was so fixated on removing the Mistress when it only does 2 damage. I don't know. If I'd planned it out a bit better, maybe the outcome could be different. It's fine though, because look, here's what's going to happen. Meteor is going to hit the 6/6. It'll damage the 6/4. Ooh, it's not trading. We can damage the 6/4, and then we can do damage with the shield. Yeah, of course. That's fine. So now Meteor is really, really good. Now, we're not going to get a water elemental out this turn, but it's fine. So, let's look at our hand. N'Zoth, Reno, and Elise. Interesting. Oh god. That's awkward. I guess I don't have... Do I play N'Zoth here? We'll get Pyros value, but he has Sylvanas on board. So I could play Reno and hope he trades in, but no. He has a lot of damage.
I must decide.
I think it has to be N'Zoth. I mean, even though he has a Sylvanas, if he didn't have the Sylvanas on board, then I think for me it would have been a snap N'Zoth play, but just that Sylvanas being there scares me a lot, because there are things he can now do to steal Pyros. And by the way, that's Pyros with a Death Rattle, not Pyros as a 10/10. So he'll get great value. But look, we get the duplicate here on the Sludge Belcher, which is good. What is he doing? Is that... That has to be Shadow Flame, right? He's not used Shadow Flame yet. Yeah, that's really smart. Injure the N'Zoth, cast the Shadow Flame, okay. And steal the Pyros. Sure. And he gets it back to hand. That's actually really good for him. And there are 3 Void Callers on the board. Okay, that's really good. So 3/6 for healing, nice. Okay, and it's Taunt City now. Oh look, Tar Creeper's an elemental. I've forgotten about that. That's actually really good. So, how do we last? How do we outlast him, I should say? We've both played N'Zoth. He's played the Warlock Death Knight. So what threats does he still have left in that deck? Does he have Jaraxxus as a late game push? Maybe he doesn't play Jaraxxus. Because Jaraxxus would be scary. You know, 6/6 bodies on the board is tough to deal with. But then would you want to play Jaraxxus now over your Warlock Death Knight? I mean, the Warlock Death Knight, the hero power is pretty useful, but the 6/6 Infernals are probably better.
I must decide.
Anyway, we still have Pyros, so we're going to get a 10/10 eventually. I'm just trying to think here. If we play Pyros, what else are we doing? Hero power seems sensible. Getting up to 3/6, sure. Still curious about what demons are left in that deck. Mal'Ganis could be a problem. I mean, we have Polymorph, obviously, but Mal'Ganis will buff up the other demons on the turn he comes down, so, you know, you'll be able to take advantage of the increased attack power and health. That's interesting. So we have to kill that. I mean, that can't be allowed to live, right? The Emperor is incredibly dangerous. Just trying to think if there's a way of using my hero power here. or an easy way of using it.
It's away.
We could kill the Imp Gang boss with Hero Power the Imp, but no, we have to kill that Emperor. We kill the N'Zoth just in case there's a return to hand effect. I've come up against Youthful Brewmaster actually with N'Zoth, so yeah, killing the N'Zoth is a priority. And I guess the Belcher will have to do. We'll just have to do, right? Oh god. I still feel at a disadvantage because I've played my N'Zoth. Even though I know I've got this amazing Mage Hero power that gives me water elementals, I still feel at a disadvantage. I still feel like I'm going to run out of stuff to do eventually. And I need to shake that feeling because, as I say, this Mage Hero power is giving the Reno Mage more staying power in the late game now.
Aluth Neladar.
These turns are quite complicated.
The beasts obey me.
And that's terrible.
Aluth Neladar.
That is absolutely terrible. 3-3. Anyway. The thing is, we're summoning water elementals. That's the key.
I'm almost out of cards.
Alright. He's getting to fatigue. So this is going to be quite interesting. I mean, we can play sort of a value game. We can play a long game here. Yeah, it's over.
For now.
I mean, we still had Kazakus, by the way, which is interesting. So, yeah, we could have gone on for a bit longer. Okay, just wanted to showcase a little clip here. I was so annoyed. I ended up facing two Mill Rogues with this deck. Two different players playing Mill Rogue. You know, and that's a deck that you just can't beat because they win by fatiguing you. They win by making you draw cards, lots of cards. And, you know, as a Reno Mage, for you it's all about hoarding cards, drawing cards, hoarding them, and then using them at the right moments. But yeah, I just couldn't find a way. And obviously the strategy against a mill deck is to play out as many cards from your hand as possible. And just hope that that's going to win you the game. But look, I lost my Jaina. I mean, lost Frostbolt there, which is pretty bad. And as we skip forward here, I had my N'Zoth value, but and I put down a Doomsayer hoping it would be enough. But no, of course he had Sap. And I also find that they just play N'Zoth multiple times against you because they have Shadow Step, you know, and you just can't win then. So, I mean, you look at my hand; there's so many options in my hand, but against a mill deck, it's just not enough. I have 2 cards left in my deck, as you can see on the right hand side. 2 cards actually. Well, actually, I don't know. It could be more than 2 because it cut off Flame Strike, but I don't have many cards left in my deck.
Well played.
And look, he even plays Bran and the Oracle. Oh yeah, it was only 2 cards, and it was over. So I just wanted to showcase this clip just to show you that people are playing mill decks, and they are not fun to play against. I mean, the counter to the mill deck is an aggro deck, where you play out your hand every single turn, and you don't hoard or keep cards in your hand.
The pleasure is
But yeah.
Let the games begin.
Okay, let's just finish off with the final game. And it's against a warrior. Now, Control Warrior did receive a couple of new tools in the expansion. So I'd be curious to see if we'd be going up against a control/fatigue warrior.
Fly, party.
Nope. The wild mode meta is still infested with pirate warrior. And actually it's pretty smart because people are experimenting with new decks and pirate warrior can really take advantage of that. Because when people are experimenting, they're trying out different cards, maybe they don't know how those cards work fully or completely, maybe they're trying out cards that are not great, and you can really take advantage by just burning them down with Pirate Warrior. Now look at the hand we've got. We have all the tools needed to win this game. All we're lacking is Reno. I mean, if I had Reno, I'd feel completely safe. But we have the torch, which is really good against that ship's cannon. Flame cannon's also decent, by the way. I'm actually pondering the torch with the coin and the ping. I mean, what else am I going to use the coin for in this game? Apart from a coin Reno on turn 5, what else am I going to do? My health total is still pretty reasonable. And that is absolutely fine too. Forgotten Torch, destroy... Oh look, there's Reno. Forgotten Torch destroys that pirate. And now the question is, how do we lose the game? We know how we're going to win the game. We have Reno. The question is, how do we lose? That's fine.
An incredible discovery.
There's the ice block. And I'm really happy I put Archaeologist in this deck. Ice block there is good to see. Not that we need it. Just wanted to see if he'd kill the Doomsayer. No, he just goes face, sure. And I think the thing you have to calculate on any given turn is, if you know, can he kill you? Is there enough damage in the Pirate Warrior deck to end you on that particular turn? And I couldn't see a way for him to have done that on the previous turn, so I was happy not to play Ice Block. But Reno now has presented him with a bit of a problem, and look, he kills the Reno, that's quite interesting. I'm at 30 health, he now has to do all of that damage all over again. I mean, once again, we have so many options in our hand. I mean, I Flame Strike there, I could have played Meteor. But Flame Strike was sufficient. He still hasn't conceded, which I find really interesting. He still thinks he can win the game. I mean, maybe seeing Reno has given him a bit of confidence. But... oh, look. Those are all good. But look, the missiles here, it's just going to mop up for us, right? Now surely he concedes. Nope. Okay, he still thinks he can win. Okay, I've said in previous videos that one of my hobbies now in Hearthstone is bullying pirate warriors. And now we're just playing Lotheb for the body. The battle cry doesn't really do much here. Sure. Go face. Oh, and do nothing. Interesting. And if there was ever any doubt, this Kazakus now, I mean, I think we take the 8 damage, because we want to seal the game out now. We want to finish the game off. And we'll take the demon. Sure. It is not lethal next turn with that potion, but it's still pretty good. It'll give us lethal the following turn. And he concedes. Yeah. He tried really hard. So I'll give him credit for trying. Okay, so the green PM33 Reno deck. I like my version on the right a little more. I mean, if you're somebody that has good RNG with Babbling Book, then Babbling Book is probably good for you, obviously. I like Duplicate just for the Pyros value. I think the green PM deck on the left is more suited against pure aggro. So Ice Barrier, for example, is really good against Pirate Warrior or against Token Druid. It just lets you survive for a little bit longer. I think my version of the deck on the right hand side is a little bit more greedy because of the duplicate. But yeah, Reno Mage still very strong on the wild mode ladder. My luck with it post-expansion though hasn't been brilliant, but I think I'd put that down to sort of RNG and card draw more than anything else. So still very solid, and I'm still very conflicted on the Lich King. As I say, he doesn't survive for very long on that board, and if all you're getting are those spells that remove cards from your deck or summon them onto the board without the battle cry, then it's not great. So I think I need to play a few more games and decide for myself whether actually the Lich King is a good fit in this deck. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I appreciate all of the views, all of the comments, all of the support, and all of the subscriptions, and I'll see you all again very soon for more Hearthstone fun, preferably on wild mode.